What if your financial miracle is waiting between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.? Stay with me. This may change your life. Most people sleep through the hour that could unlock their breakthrough. Don't skip this message. If you've been praying for financial change, what I'm about to share could be your turning point. There is a secret in the early morning hours that many believers have ignored, and it can shift your future. Wake up at 3 a.m. for prayer, and you may unlock a breakthrough you never saw coming. Listen closely. There is a time in the night when the world is quiet, distractions are silent, and heaven seems near. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., while many sleep, destinies can shift. I came to tell you something powerful. Your financial breakthrough may not begin in a bank, in a business deal, or in a promotion. It may begin in prayer, because every visible breakthrough starts in an invisible realm. Poverty is not merely the absence of money. Often it begins as the absence of vision. And before God changes your finances, He changes your thinking. That early hour is not magical because of the clock. It is powerful because of the condition it creates. Stillness, focus, sensitivity, discipline, expectation. When you rise while others sleep, you are making a declaration. My purpose is greater than my comfort, and greatness always answers sacrifice. Wake up to your assignment. Many people spend their lives asking God for money, asking for relief, asking for provision. But few understand this principle. Heaven does not respond merely to need, it responds to purpose. Need alone does not move destiny. Purpose does. Provision follows vision. Resources follow assignment. Wealth follows stewardship. If you have no vision, what will provision support? If you have no assignment, what will resources empower? The Creator funds purpose. He gives supply where there is divine responsibility. That is why those early hours of prayer are not a time to approach God as a beggar, pleading from fear. No, rise and pray like a king discovering his territory, like a steward seeking instruction. Declare with boldness, Lord, reveal ideas to me. Show me opportunities hidden from ordinary eyes. Teach me principles that generate increase. Give me wisdom greater than my salary. Because financial breakthrough often does not enter first through money, it enters through ideas. An idea can be a seed carrying generations inside it. One inspired strategy can erase years of struggle. One act of obedience can open doors no man can shut. Some people keep waiting for a miracle to fall from heaven, while ignoring the miracle already placed within them. The miracle of thought, imagination, creativity, and vision. Your mind is not empty space. It is a seedbed. Prayer waters that seedbed. Wisdom grows in that soil. And prosperity can flow from what is cultivated there. Do not underestimate a God-given idea. Businesses have been built from one thought. Empires have risen from one solution. Families have been lifted from poverty because one person received revelation. Ask not only for bread, ask for strategy. Ask not only for increase, ask for insight. Because when purpose awakens, provision begins to chase you. Wake up to your assignment, and you may discover the breakthrough you seek is already hidden in the vision God is waiting to reveal. The morning watch is a place of strategy. Those sacred hours before dawn are not merely moments for emotional prayer. They are moments of strategy. They are not only for tears, petitions, and desperate cries. They are for receiving instruction. There's a difference between praying for help and praying for understanding. Many people approach God saying, bless me. But mature people pray a higher prayer, teach me. Because blessing without wisdom can be wasted. Money without understanding disappears. Opportunity without discernment can be missed. But wisdom has the power to reproduce blessing again and again. That is why the morning watch is powerful. In the silence of 3 a.m., distractions are quiet, the mind is uncluttered, and the spirit is attentive. It becomes a chamber where strategy can emerge. Ideas come there, creative solutions come there, business concepts can be born there, debt escape plans can be revealed there, investment insight can form there, doctrine can become clear there. What others call coincidence is often the result of revelation. Some of the greatest breakthroughs begin when a person kneels in darkness and rises with light. Never underestimate what can happen in one focused hour before God. A single whispered instruction can save years of struggle. One divine strategy can accomplish what human effort alone could not produce. History has often been changed by people who received insight in quiet places. When you enter those early hours, do not rush only to speak. Come ready to listen. Ask, Lord, what am I not seeing? Ask, what principle have I ignored? Ask, what strategy must I apply? Because prayer is not only communication, it is consultation. And consultation produces strategy. Remember this. Miracles are not always dramatic interruptions. Sometimes a miracle arrives as an idea, a plan, a correction, or a strategy revealed in prayer. So honor the morning watch, meet God there consistently, because while others sleep through the hour, you may be receiving the instruction that unlocks your next financial breakthrough. Financial breakthrough begins with inner deliverance. Many people believe their greatest struggle is a money problem, but often the deeper issue is a belief problem. The battle is not always in the bank account. Sometimes it is in the mind. People can be conditioned for limitation. They can be trained by disappointment to expect barely enough. They can fear abundance because struggle has become familiar. They can distrust increase because they have lived too long under survival thinking. And as long as a person thinks like lack, even opportunity can pass unnoticed. That is why financial breakthrough often begins with inner deliverance. Before God changes what is in your hand, He often changes what is in your mind. Those early hours of prayer have power because they break inner chains. In the presence of God, false beliefs begin to collapse. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop seeing yourself as someone merely trying to survive. You begin to see yourself as a steward, a builder, a producer, a person entrusted with purpose. And when mentality changes, decisions change. When decisions change, habits change. When habits change, results change. Prosperity often begins as a renewed mind, long before it appears as increased income. A poor mindset can exist in a wealthy person, and a prosperous mindset can exist in someone still climbing, because prosperity is first a way of thinking. Declare over yourself, I am not created for lack. I am designed to produce. I carry solutions. I carry value. I carry potential. Speak until those words become conviction, because dominion starts with identity. When you know who you are, you stop shrinking from opportunity. You stop apologizing for growth. You stop fearing increase. And you begin to think in terms of ownership, multiplication, and stewardship. That is how financial dominion begins. Not merely through money gained, but through limitation broken. The greatest breakthrough may not be an external miracle. It may be the moment your mind is delivered from small thinking, and once that happens, abundance no longer feels impossible. It becomes imaginable, actionable, and eventually attainable. Pray with expectation, not desperation. Do not approach those early hours as a ritual you perform out of habit. Approach them as an encounter. There is a difference between repeating prayers and entering divine expectation. Too many people pray from desperation alone, driven by fear, anxiety, and panic. But faith does not approach God as though heaven is reluctant. Faith approaches with confidence that something is already moving. Come expecting instruction. Come expecting clarity. Come expecting favor. Come expecting doors to open, because expectation is the atmosphere where miracles breathe. Desperation says, I hope something changes. Faith says, change has already begun. That is a different posture. When you enter prayer, do not merely bring problems, bring expectation. Pray over your business, pray over your work, pray over your debts, pray over your family legacy, pray over the ideas hidden inside you. Cover every area with intentional words, and do not pray timid prayers. Call forth increase. Call forth discipline, call forth opportunity, call forth wisdom, call forth divine connections. Because words shape worlds. What you continually declare can influence what you continually expect. Stop speaking only about what is broken. Speak about what can be built. Stop declaring lack over your future. Declare abundance, strategy, and favor. Life often moves in the direction of dominant belief, and faith-filled words strengthen belief. Do not underestimate the power of speaking life over your tomorrow while darkness still surrounds you. Some of the greatest transformations begin when a person stands in prayer and speaks possibilities before evidence appears. That is faith. Prayer is not only asking, it is aligning your spirit with what God can do. It is calling invisible things into visible manifestation. When you pray with expectation, you are not begging for scraps. you are preparing for breakthrough. Enter those hours believing wisdom will come, believing doors will open, believing opportunities will emerge, believing your financial future can shift, because miracles often begin where expectation rises. Pray not as one abandoned, pray as one expecting. And when expectation fills your prayer, desperation loses its grip, and breakthrough moves from possibility to anticipation. Discipline unlocks doors. Hear this carefully. Prayer is powerful, but prayer without action is incomplete. Prayer can reveal direction, but discipline walks that direction out. Revelation may show you the door, but discipline is what turns the handle. After 5 a.m., work, build, learn, invest, access. Because breakthrough does not belong only to those who pray. It often comes to those who pray and act. Do not pray for harvest while refusing to plant seed. Do not ask for increase while neglecting responsibility. Many people desire supernatural wealth while rejecting natural principles, but miracles often move through principles. God may provide the opportunity, but discipline develops the outcome. Understand this. Budgeting is spiritual, stewardship is spiritual, excellence is spiritual, diligence is spiritual. Managing what you have today prepares you for what you are praying to receive tomorrow. If a person mishandles little, more can become a burden instead of a blessing. That is why discipline matters. Sometimes people ask God for open doors while ignoring the habits required to walk through them. If God gives you a strategy in prayer, move on it. If He gives you an idea, develop it. If He shows you a correction, apply it. Delayed obedience can delay breakthrough. Procrastination has robbed many of what revelation offered them. Faith is not passive agreement. Faith moves, faith builds, faith implements. Some of the opportunities people call miracles were simply the result of consistent discipline applied over time. Greatness is often hidden inside daily habits. The person who rises to pray but refuses to grow in skill, manage finances wisely, or act on wisdom may admire breakthrough without experiencing it. Prayer opens heaven, but discipline positions you to receive what heaven releases. So pray with fire, but work with order. Seek revelation, then apply principles. Ask for blessing, then practice stewardship. Because doors do not only open through spiritual passion, many open through disciplined obedience. And sometimes your financial breakthrough is not waiting for another prayer. It is waiting for you to act on the answer you already received. There is something about the sacrifice of dawn. There is something powerful about the sacrifice of dawn. When you leave your bed while others remain comfortable, you are sowing something deeper than time. You are sowing devotion, discipline, and hunger. And sacrifice carries a voice. It speaks when words do not. It testifies that you value purpose more than comfort. That early rising says, I am serious, I am hungry, I am ready. And heaven often responds to seriousness. Breakthrough frequently comes not to the merely hopeful, but to the prepared. Hope wishes, preparation positions. There is a difference. Many want miracles, but few want the discipline that often precedes them. But every time you rise in those early hours, you are making an investment in destiny. You are declaring that your future is worth inconvenience. You are saying your calling deserves sacrifice. And sacrifice has always been connected to transformation. Maybe your miracle is not delayed because God is unwilling. Maybe it is waiting on consistency, not one morning, not 2 mornings, but a lifestyle, because power often accumulates in repetition. There is something that happens when prayer stops being occasional and becomes habitual. Revelation deepens, sensitivity sharpens, faith grows stronger, drink becomes clearer. Show up in prayer until revelation becomes routine. Show up until seeking God is no longer a struggle but a rhythm. Some people visit prayer only when crisis comes, but those who live in consistent devotion often walk in uncommon clarity. Do not underestimate what repeated mornings can produce. One dawn may encourage you, another may correct you, another may give you strategy, another may unlock breakthrough. And over time, what seemed like small acts of sacrifice become the foundation of major transformation. Remember, the farmer does not sow once and expect lifelong harvest. Consistency produces fruit. In the same way, persistent prayer cultivates breakthrough rise again, return again, sex again. Because there is something about the sacrifice of dawn that shapes a person from the inside out. And sometimes the miracle you are praying for is being formed through the very consistency you thought was ordinary. Your family may change because you prayed. What if your 3 a.m. prayer is bigger than your bills? What if what feels like a personal struggle is actually connected to generations after you? Sometimes we reduce prayer to immediate needs, rent, debt, pressure, survival. But what if those early morning prayers are not only about getting through the month, but about changing a bloodline? What if your obedience breaks a cycle of poverty in your family? What if your discipline interrupts generations of limitation? What if your children walk in abundance because you learned principles in prayer that no one before you understood? That changes everything, because now prayer is not only about provision, it becomes about legacy. Never reduce breakthrough to personal comfort. Think legacy, think generations, think kingdom purpose. There are families waiting for one person to rise and become the turning point. Maybe that person is you. Maybe your early morning sacrifice is planting seeds your grandchildren will live from. Because true prosperity is not merely having more money. It is becoming more, becoming wiser, becoming a better steward, becoming a source of empowerment to others. Real prosperity does not end with possession. It multiplies through impact. It lifts others. It opens doors for those coming behind you. A breakthrough mindset asks not only, how can I get blessed? It asks, how can my life become a blessing? That is legacy thinking. And legacy thinking changes how you pray. You begin praying for wisdom that outlives you, for principles your children can inherit, for favor that reaches generations, for resources tied to purpose, not ego, because wealth without legacy disappears. But wisdom passed through generations can transform a family forever. Imagine your children benefiting from the discipline you practiced in secret. Imagine future generations free from burdens you fought through in prayer. Never underestimate what one praying person can alter. History has often turned because one individual sought God seriously. And your family's future may shift because you did the same. So rise in those early hours with a larger vision. Because your family may change, not simply because you earned more, but because you prayed, obeyed, and built a new legacy. Rise and awaken to your miracle. Believe somebody hearing these words has been sleeping through opportunity, not because you lack potential, but because you have not yet awakened to the discipline your breakthrough requires. Wake up. This is more than a call to rise from bed. It is a call to rise into purpose. Set the alarm. Rise in faith. Meet God in the quiet. Pray between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Take wisdom to fake strategy. Break limiting beliefs. Align your life. Take action. And watch what happens. Because when prayer and discipline meet, things begin to shift. Debt can break. Favor can open. Ideas can multiply. Doors can appear. Snores can come. What seems impossible today may be one revelation away. Sometimes we keep searching for a dramatic miracle, while the breakthrough we need is hidden inside divine instruction waiting to be received, and perhaps that revelation is waiting in the hours before dawn. In the silence others ignore, you may hear the strategy that changes your future. Do not go to bed ordinary tonight. Go to bed prepared. Prepare your spirit to rise. Prepare your mind to receive. Prepare your heart to obey. Because while others sleep through possibility, you may be stepping into a miracle. Awaken to your miracle. Rise in prayer, lock your breakthrough. And understand this. Mornings are not just hours on a clock. They are gates of momentum. How you begin often shapes where you end. The person who rules the morning often shapes the future. Those who conquer the first hours often carry authority into the rest of the day. Do not underestimate what repeated mornings of prayer can produce. One dawn may carry the instruction you need. One prayer may release courage. One revelation may redirect your financial future. Your breakthrough is not as distant as fear suggests. It may be closer than you think. It may begin when you decide comfort will no longer rule you. It may begin when the alarm sounds at 3 a.m. and you answer the call. Because sometimes a miracle does not start with a sudden event. It starts when someone wakes up. If this message touched your spirit, Stay with us and keep growing with us on this journey. Please like this video and leave a comment sharing what spoke to your heart. Share this message with your friends and family who need encouragement today. Stay connected and wait for the next powerful video. We have more life-changing messages coming. Remain with us, keep praying, keep believing, and stay with us for what's next.